We did it, Rimshot. We got it. I am Troll Fighter #1. Rimshot! I don't believe it, Rimshot. He's pulling against 200 horsepower. I put it in reverse. How about a bumper sandwich, booger lips?
Hi, I'm Gus from Askewed Reviews, and this is a new episode of Cinema Society Squirrel Saturday. This is where a group of us online who absolutely love digging and chasing and walkies. And we all love horror movies. And then what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. And then each time we are paired up and we are randomly given a theme, and then we give each other a movie that fits within that theme, and then we review those movies for all of you. Now, if you couldn't tell from the intro, and of course that segment right there, the theme for this week is pets. So these are horror movies where you have animals, creatures, and other things that are household or on a farm or in general either owned by a person or a family, and they are the protagonists or the antagonists for the story. Now, my partner for this week is Crowley, also known as Splatterhouse Cinemas. If you're not following him already, definitely go and do so. He has some really fun things to watch and so many great videos about the Pumpkin Patch Pals or the Kind Vine or even his countdown to Halloween. Now, for this week, Crowley gave me the film of Man's Best Friend, the 1993 film directed and written by John Lafia. Now, in case you haven't seen this before, or if you need a refresher, let me tell you about what the concept is for this movie. Near the beginning of the film, we meet a journalist named Lori and her camerawoman Annie. Now, Lori is trying to find out about a story that involves a company that experiments on animals. She manages to find someone who can get her into the building, but when that meeting is supposed to happen, it doesn't. So she decides to take the initiative, and her and Annie sneak into the building themselves. The two of them end up getting a lot of footage showcasing the horrible conditions that these animals are under. And at one point, they find a cage that's covered. When they uncover it, they find a dog, who at first seems very friendly and named Max. Now, Lori lets him out to try and do a little segment about him specifically, but then all hell breaks loose as the guards find them. Max goes running, and the two of them go fleeing out of the building, but not before they have a brief run-in with Dr. Jarrett, who is the person experimenting on these animals. While fleeing, though, Max does manage to make his way into Lori's car, and then Lori tries to decide what to do with him, and makes the brilliant decision of taking him home and not telling her boyfriend about the dog, and just having him deal with it. Max, by the way, does seem to be incredibly intelligent and very protective over Lori. With Max now being out there on the loose, Dr. Jarrett reluctantly tells the two detectives on the case what the real deal is with this animal. In fact, Max is no ordinary dog. He's been genetically modified and spliced with other animals and has some crazy aspects and abilities. But in the right hands, he could be a benefit. In the wrong hands, he could be a killing machine. So will Lori be able to keep and control Max? Or will this mutated monster cause havoc throughout her neighborhood? So the first thing I want to mention when it comes to this film is that when it was suggested for me, I realized that I actually have not watched this film since the last time I rented it on VHS. Ooh, that made me feel old. But what's funny is I do remember Lance Henriksen's character of Dr. Jarrett, but I had completely forgotten that Ali Sheedy played the character of Lori. Here's a random thing I do want to mention when it comes to the poster right here. This is incredibly misleading for two reasons. One, this is not Max. This is like a Rottweiler, and Max could be part Rottweiler, but this is not the same dog. Second, it's not robotic. I don't know why they chose that in the poster. It's genetically modified, but there's no cybernetics or robotics. But I do find it absolutely ridiculous that it is genetically modified, but Max apparently can pee acid, and has the ability to camouflage. Now, I always find it so funny in horror movies when they're like, we spliced this thing with a chameleon, and now it can apparently use the cloak of invisibility from Harry Potter. You know, it's always like that in movies where it's full on camouflage, like technology camouflage, and not just color changing. I was also pleasantly surprised that over time, I did still enjoy this movie and it wasn't just nostalgia. But what's funny is rewatching it now, I'm so annoyed that they made Laurie's boyfriend Perry seem like he's supposed to be an asshole. Because in actuality, Laurie is kind of a terrible person. She breaks into this facility, she frees this experimental dog without knowing anything about it. She doesn't tell her boyfriend that she's bringing a dog home. And then when he finally is willing to allow the dog to stay, she doesn't even compromise on the one thing that he asks her to do. She also blames him when the dog doesn't like him. She lets the neighbor kid, who they apparently just let into their house and eat their food, but she lets the neighbor kid take her dog, this new dog, to meet his dog that they've never met before. And if you're a dog owner, you know that's a terrible idea, especially when this child is almost the same size as this dog. The final thing I'll mention are two things that might be triggering to people. Number one, there definitely is sequences of animal harm in this, which obviously it's all fake and everything, but it's still there. Second, I didn't think I would have to say this, but there is a dog, so between two dogs, SA scene. They don't show it, but it's absolutely implied. So, at least in my own opinion, I do recommend checking this one out. It's currently streaming for free on Mamutu, and I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. And one more time, I am going to mention go and start following my partner Crowley. He has some wonderful stuff to check out. Let's try to get him up to 3,000 followers. And another good reason is so you can check out the movie that I gave him to review, the 2023 film Slaughterhouse. I hope you enjoyed my review for Man's Best Friend. And if you'd like to see what everyone else in the group did for their pets reviews, just look up the hashtag Cinema Society Saturday.